Let's talk 15 best isekai and reincarnation anime to binge. You ready? Let's go. Number 15, Zenshu, 2025. Ever watched an anime about making anime that somehow still feels like a fantasy adventure? Zenshu pulls that off. The story follows a burned-out animator who suddenly finds herself transported in the exact fantasy world she once helped design. The twist is that she remembers everything about the story, every plot hole, villain arc, and power system. Because of that knowledge, she can influence events almost like a director controlling the narrative. Watching her use behind-the-scenes knowledge to survive the world she helped create is incredibly entertaining. Number 14. Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse 2025. Imagine dying and the story simply rewinds instead of ending. That's the core concept behind Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse. The protagonist is dragged into a dangerous supernatural world built around ancient onmyoji magic, spirit contracts, and powerful curses. Every time he dies, the timeline resets slightly, forcing him to learn from his mistakes and approach situations differently. Number 13. Mashin Creator Wataru, 2025. For fans of classic anime vibes, Mashin Creator Wataru brings back an old-school concept: magical robots inside a fantasy world. The protagonist is transported into a colourful realm where giant mystical machines exist. And the interesting twist is that imagination powers them. Creativity literally fuels the strength of these mechs during battle. Number 12. A Wild Last Boss Appeared, 2025. What happens when you wake up inside the body of the final boss you once defeated? That's the premise of A Wild Last Boss Appeared. The protagonist suddenly becomes Lufus, a legendary winged ruler feared across the world. The problem is that everyone still believes she's the same terrifying villain who nearly conquered everything. This creates a lot of tense and sometimes hilarious situations as characters either fear her or expect her to start another war. Meanwhile, she's simply trying to understand her situation. Number 11, Ugly Mug Epic Fighter, 2025. This anime asks a ridiculous but funny question. What if getting uglier actually made you stronger? Ugly Mug Epic Fighter follows a man transported to a fantasy world where his combat strength increases as his appearance becomes worse. The more unattractive he looks, the more powerful his abilities become. It sounds absurd, but the show fully embraces the concept. The exaggerated animation style helps deliver the jokes while also making the action scenes entertaining. Number 10. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world, 2025. Imagine a tokusatsu superhero suddenly entering a traditional fantasy RPG world. That's exactly what happens in The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World. Instead of adapting to the world like a normal adventurer, the hero continues acting like a classic superhero. He gives dramatic speeches, performs transformation poses, and treats every battle like a Monster of the Week episode. Meanwhile, the medieval adventurers around him have no idea how to react. Number 9. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 4 2025. By the time Season 4 arrives, Rimuru's small monster village has evolved into a powerful nation. This season pushes the world building even further as diplomacy, alliances, and political tension begin shaping the story. Other nations now recognize Rimuru's kingdom as a major force. Of course, the massive magic battles remain a highlight. When powerful characters clash, the visuals explode with huge spells and destructive attacks. Number 8. Saga of Tanya the Evil 2, 2025. Saga of Tanya the Evil returns with another intense season of magical warfare. The battlefield scenes are dramatic, with mages flying through dark skies while launching devastating spells. It feels like a blend of military strategy and supernatural combat. Tanya herself remains a fascinating protagonist, constantly trying to outmaneuver the godlike being X while advancing her military career. Every battle feels calculated and dangerous. If you enjoy dark war stories and tactical decision-making, this season will definitely keep you hooked. Number 7. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 3 2025. Mushoku Tensei continues delivering one of the most detailed fantasy worlds in anime. Season 3 dives deeper into Rudis' emotional journey as he faces the consequences of past actions and tries to grow as a person. The story balances adventure with meaningful character development. The world itself feels alive, from detailed cities to wide landscapes and beautifully animated magic battles. For viewers who enjoy strong character growth alongside immersive world building, this season remains a highlight of the genre. Number 6. In the Land of Leedale Season 2, 2025. Not every isekai needs non-stop conflict. In the Land of Leedale Season 2 continues its relaxing fantasy story, where the protagonist wakes up inside the game world she once played. While she is incredibly powerful, the series focuses more on exploration, friendships, and everyday adventures rather than constant battles. The calm tone and colourful world make the show feel like a comfortable fantasy escape. If you enjoy slower, wholesome isekai stories, this series is a great option. Number 5. ReZero's Starting Life in Another World Season 4, 2026. ReZero remains one of the most emotionally intense isekai series. Season 4 continues Subaru's brutal journey where every death resets the timeline. Each failure forces him to rethink his decisions and search for a better outcome. The psychological pressure of these situations is what makes the story so powerful. Subaru's strength comes from perseverance rather than overwhelming power. For fans of emotional storytelling and high-stakes drama, this season will likely deliver another unforgettable arc. Number 4. The New Gate 2025. The New Gate begins when a player defeats the final boss of a deadly VR MMO game, but instead of logging out, he remains trapped in the world. Even more surprising, he wakes up hundreds of years in the future. His character has become a legendary hero from ancient history. Exploring this changed world creates a strong sense of mystery as he discovers how civilization evolved since his time. If you enjoy classic RPG-style adventures with exploration and discovery, The New Gate is a solid pick. Number 3. Failure Frame 2025. Failure Frame starts with betrayal. The protagonist is summoned to another world with his classmates, but the goddess in charge declares his ability useless and abandons him in a dangerous dungeon. However, that supposedly weak power turns out to be extremely deadly, allowing him to inflict poison, paralysis, and instant death effects. The story leans darker than most isekai, as the protagonist slowly grows stronger while seeking revenge against those who wronged him. If you enjoy revenge-driven anti-hero stories, this anime stands out. Number 2, as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world Season 2, 2025. This anime focuses more on strategy than direct combat. The protagonist has a special ability that lets him see the hidden talents of others. Instead of becoming a powerful warrior himself, he builds a team of incredibly skilled allies. Season 2 expands the political and strategic elements of the story, including territory management, alliances, and military planning. Watching him turn a weak domain into a powerful faction makes the series surprisingly engaging. Number 1, I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, 2025. At the top of the list is a clever twist on the villainous isekai formula. In I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History, the protagonist reincarnates into an otome game as the villain. Instead of avoiding her bad ending, she decides to fully embrace the role. She studies politics, manipulates social situations, and uses intelligence to climb the ranks of noble society. Alright, anime fans, now it's your turn. Which of these shows are you planning to binge first? And do you agree with the number 1 pick, or would you move something else to the top? Let me know your thoughts.